You hear that?
Yep.
The recording in progress. All right. So, well, you guys, when one thing don't fail, when one thing fails, we pivot and try something else. Well, that's exactly what we've done. We're trying to do this as a live, and unfortunately, that didn't work out so well. So here we are, trying to get my little light on here. Night is just, but okay. Get rid of this. Return to meeting. All right, so this is Mr. Steve Stuke. We were trying to do a live a little bit ago, and unfortunately, the live was not working. So I should have done this on my phone, but that's okay. We're on the computer, so that's where we are. The only thing about it, if once we do this recording, we have to share it. So this is Mr. Steve Stuke, and the reason I wanted you guys to hear his story is because he has a story, and this has been a long time coming for him. But I said for entrepreneur, a life of an entrepreneur from rags to riches. My name is Rachell, and he and I are on as with the same. We are with the same company, but we had a lot of traveling to do before we got here, and I just wanted you to hear his story on what happened, how did he get where he's at, and from especially from starting from a tender age of 18. So I'm going to let's Mr. Steve Stuke tell us where he's from and how did he begin his journey. Steve, so would you take it from there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad this is working. And, it's been a long time in network marketing and I enjoyed it. I'm like a lifer in networking, but I did start when I was 18 years old, 27 years ago. And I started with a company called Amway. And, you know, um, my first 8 years, I made like $1,000 in Amway. And I didn't, I spent about 60 grand on books, tapes, seminars, meetings. I did everything they asked me to do. And I just didn't make any money. The problem was I was going after people below my level. The easiest people to talk to, I was going after. And I was doing the whole thing. I was doing three-way calls, or not even three-way calls. I was just doing everything by myself, showing a
Oh,
plan, people doing everything alone. And uh, that's not the way to do it, and I struggled for many years, but I just did whatever my upline told me to do. But I didn't do everything. Um, but I met some amazing mentors along the way, and that led me here to today. For example, in 2011, I met a guy making $500,000 a month, and he's like, Steve, you got to talk to the most successful people you can find, your level and above. He's like, one leader can lead you to thousands of people, can lead you to millions of dollars, and that's true. And he's like, you want to ask people to do you a huge favor. You want them to check out information and get them on a call. You don't want to explain nothing. If you're the expert, people can't duplicate the expert. They can duplicate. Can you do me a favor? And people do people favors all the time. And that's what you got to do. You got to ask people to do you a huge favor. Say, hey John, can you do me a huge favor? I want you to just check out some information for me. It would mean a lot to me. I'm not going to ask you to join. I'm not going to ask you to spend any money. I just want you to do me a huge favor and check out some information. And that's what you got to do, and just plant that seed. If you become a professional pointer, you're going to have a lot of success. If you're a professional know-it-all, you're not going to have a lot of success. People ain't going to follow the know-it-all.
okay.
The only time you want to be the expert is when um, you have people on your team calling you for a three-way call. But if you're in the beginning doing this by yourself, you want to get people to do you a favor and get them on a call with Rachell. That's what you want to do. And you do that over and over again, and get people do it, and go after people you're afraid to talk to. Those are your best contacts. They're the
Okay.
best. Your level
So
and above.
okay. So, so I can just tell right now you are definitely an expert in what you do. You have found that niche. or just the way that we should do when we're doing network marketing, period. Like I said, not be the expert, but you, from when I read your bio, it says you started network marketing 27 years ago at the tender age of 18 years old. So let's just start back there. Right now, you know the dots and where to connect it or where to put the pieces together, the puzzle, but it didn't start out like that for you, right? Right. So you said that
Yeah.
you were trying to do everything by yourself and as we know as a network marketer or MLM, this is not a Lone Ranger kind of business. It's called network marketing for a reason, multi-level marketing for a reason. When you try to do this alone, the success doesn't come very easily, right? If you say, "Well,
Right.
I
Correct.
don't need no help," hey, you're in the wrong business. So I like that, so 18 years ago, so I was reading that your first 8 years, not your first year, not your second year, not your third or the fourth, you said 8 years, you made $1,000. So, but you spent over $60,000. Could you explain that to me?
Well, I'd buy all the books and tapes. I'd go to all the seminars. I'd buy products, soap and detergent and just household items and food from the company and have them mailed to my house. I'd spend like $800, $700 on that stuff and get a six or seven, $8 check maybe every single month average. And I was just doing whatever my upline told me to do. They would tell me to buy, you know, these products. They would tell me to buy books, the book of the month. They would tell me to buy cassette tapes every week. I would buy them. They'd tell me about going to all these meetings. I'd go to all the meetings, but I wasn't making money. I was making like, nothing. It's
So
just a
you
$50.
definitely wasn't making enough money to support yourself if you were making $7 to $8 a month, less than $10 a month. So you were unless that beautiful face of yours got you into paying your rent and having a car and all of those things, how were you able to get by? Were you doing something else, or
Yeah,
how was that?
yeah. Yeah, I was working when I started in this company. I was working for a grocery store, and a girl in the bakery. I was working in the dairy department. She told me about it, and then her dad explained the opportunity to me. Um, and I'll just name the company as Amway, but her dad, and I was totally sold. I was in. But and then I worked at Coca-Cola after that. So I worked 8 years there, Coca-Cola 14 years. But yeah, that's what I was doing to support everything.
Okay, yeah. So you had another job outside of the network marketing. So was network marketing more of a part-time thing, or you kind of made it a full-time, or a little bit of both?
I would say a little bit of both because I mean, I would do both. I mean, I'd be working my job and I'd be talking to people at my job about it. And of course, everybody would like laugh at me because, they're like,
Yeah.
"Who are you?
That dreamer,
You
that
never did."
guy that's like he's
Yeah.
doing this. What is
Yeah.
wrong with him?
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So you like I said, you bought the books, the tapes, and did all those things, and then something amazing happened. In 2011, you met a guy that was making $500,000, sometimes more than that, but he was making 500,000, not $500, 500,000 per month. And first to meet someone that's doing that, that probably blew your mind, I would think a little bit, did it? And then he
Yeah.
became your personal mentor. That's incredible. So how did that happen?
Well, I was introduced to a company at that time, an energy company, and he was the national trainer of that company. And I remember they had a boot camp training in Chicago, a 12-hour boot camp training. And I went there and just took all kinds of notes and I started applying everything to a T. I got his phone number. He started mentoring me, calling me, talking to me. He lives in Florida and he's like, just apply what I'm teaching because he's like, people say knowledge is everything, but that's false. Applied knowledge. If you know and not do, it's like you don't know it at all. You got to apply what the successful leaders are doing in order to have success. That's how it is. That's how it's done.
Yeah. So it's not just having the knowledge, but to apply the knowledge all day long, you can have it. But if you don't apply, you're gonna wake up in the
Hmm.
very same state as you were when you went to bed the night after night after night. So I okay, so after being with that young man, he personally mentored you, like you said, and after you said after um your months went from that $6 and $7 a week. Was that a week, a month check, that $67 a month or week check?
The
I forgot.
month. Yeah, it's
It
a
was a
big
month,
month.
a month. So after doing that, and after you met him, he started mentoring you. You had your biggest month income a month was $107,000. And that was your biggest week. That was a week. Let me say 107,000. My biggest week was 60,000. And my two biggest days were 22 biggest days. In 2 days, you made more than what some people make a year. Two biggest days, $28,000. Wow. So this, and you owe a lot of that to that young man who started mentoring you, but not just he was just mentoring you. You were following the steps. You were doing the action. You were doing the calls. Reaching out. It's safe. We play it safe a lot of times, right? And we don't want to. We're too scared to because we think they're going to say no, and they might say no to reach it to other people. Like you said, that's a maybe at a higher level than you. We don't want to bother them. We stick with, like I said, either our speed or lower. And many times people don't have the right mindset. They're not nowhere near where you want them to be. And you took it. You listened to what he said. You came out of that and you start speaking to people. You still spoke to some of them, I'm sure, right? But you definitely went up above from where you were going before. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
So what happened then? Because I'm curious. $6, $7, eight, less than $10 a month, 8 years of that. Why did you keep going? Why did you not just say, I'm done? I'm tired of this. I want no more of this. I'm not going to ever make no money. You hear people still talking. Why don't you just give that up? Why don't you just go get a regular job? Leave that alone. It's a scam. You probably heard everything. I'm not sure. But why did you keep going? What made you decide to keep going?
Well, I just had a dream. I mean, that dream was planted inside me when I first looked at that opportunity when I first started at 18 years old, and I just wanted to. I would see these people on stage speaking, and I'm like, man, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. I want to have a lifestyle like they have, and I want to just be able to give back and help others and so on and so forth. And I remember when I hit it big, and we you can ask me another question, but when I hit it big, um, and started making crazy money, Christmas time every year, I started mailing Christmas gifts around the country to families that couldn't afford Christmas for their kids. And I was wrapping their gifts and sending them because I would ask them what their kids want, and they would tell me. And then they do videos like Facebook Lives or whatever, and I'd have tears rolling down my cheeks because if I would have never given up, if I would have given up my dream years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do anything like that. And so I love doing that, and I love giving and helping and what I can do.
I love that. I love that. And that's money to me is it doesn't solve all problems, but it definitely gives you options. It gives you options on other things. If you're a good person, you're gonna be a good person when you're a better person when you have money. If you're a terrible person, you're gonna do, maybe when you have money, but to know that you have that heart to want to give back and to serve others, that to me is that's amazing. I love that. I love that about you. So you said so you were growing a team. So were you still with the same company at that time, or did you change companies? Um, after you start making it, having some success, or did you stay with the same company?
There's one company I was working with really hard, and when I was making really good money, and I thought the company was going to be there forever. See, companies come and go, and that company closed. But what I did is the next company that came, I used the same principles, and I built it right back up and did very well. And so, if you just apply the principles that successful people do to become successful, you'll be successful. Who you associate with, you become just like. So I just, when that one company closed, I went and did another company and built it back up and had a lot of success and just started associate the right people.
Okay. So you said when another company closed, you built it right back up. So And I know a lot of people say, well, he's lucky. He already had people, he already had a big following. And so they all just follow him over there. And that could never happen to me. So what would you say to people who just don't believe that that's in the card for them?
Well, when people say it's all about luck, it has nothing to do with luck. It's all about your choices. Every day you have a choice to make a good choice or a poor choice. And that's how your future is determined. If you're making poor choices, selfish choices, you're treating people bad, and you continue to do it, you're going to have multiple problems in your life. But if you're planting those good seeds daily and you continue to do it and you do not give up, because if you give up and go back to your old ways, you're going to miss out on the blessings. See, God wants to give you the desires of your heart, but it's he either bless you're either going to get blessed or you're going to have issues. It's all it's based on your choices. That's how it works. It's not luck. God doesn't just randomly like, hey, I'm going to give this guy blessings, this guy bless. No, it's the choices you make. It's the seeds you plant daily, and that will determine your future.
I think you just said something very powerful, the seeds that you plant daily. If we plant a seed and we don't go back and touch that seed again, all we did was just stick it in the ground and we never did anything more to it. We didn't pick the weeds, we didn't water it, we didn't check on it, we didn't, that seed is eventually going to probably die, right? But if we nurture that seed, we come back
Hmm.
and we make sure it's been taken care of and we go back and check on it, you may have that seed, it will probably eventually it's going to plant, it's going to sprout. And we have to do enough of them though. One is not enough, two is not enough. So I'm sure you've had many seeds you've planted and they didn't happen right away. It didn't sprout right away. The bamboo tree takes, I mean, how long, and then when it does, it just go. But a seed, sometimes when you plant, it takes a minute for it to take root, right? But once that thing takes root, it comes on up. And so it seemed like that's what you were doing. You planted seeds, you were talking, you stopped, you listened to your mentor. So these some great tips for all the network marketers. You didn't just stay talking to people at your level, you went above. You found a good mentor and you went above. You waited 8 years because you saw that and that burnt something, it burned in your brain. You're like, I want that. So even though it took 8 years, you spent a lot of money doing training, things like that, you were determined you were not going to quit. That $6 and $7, that's not what kept you there, right? It was that belief. It was what you saw. And what you saw is what made you continue to do it and thrive because you just knew somewhere that that thing was going to happen for you. It was going to come to fruition. And then you look at, and now once you did that, you never looked back. And it's been good ever since then. Is that right?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. So, the guy that mentored you, is he still around or do you guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's lives in Florida. Yep. He's still around. Hmm.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I think you did an amazing job with you and you're doing, do you mentor anyone yourself? Do you have people that you mentor? That you passing it on?
I do. I mean, I have mentored. I have some people that were. I do like driving Uber, and the same company and I are in. I brought a lot of passengers to get their blood tests and bioscans. Tons of them, almost 100 of them. And just by sharing my story with them, while I'm in Illinois, because I was living in Florida a year ago, and
Okay.
but my oldest brother passed away last year in March, and so I came back to the Chicagoland area, and that's when I was introduced to Melissa, and here we are.
What, a year ago, huh?
And I've actually mentored a lot of my passengers. Like some passengers I pick up and they're down in the dumps, but I just say, hey, you know what, your best life's ahead of you, and I tell them about making the right choices and stuff, and planting the good seeds in life, and your life can change. And some of them have stuck close to me, and some of them they haven't. But and then there's people that I talk to on a daily basis that I tell them how your life can be different. Your greatest life can be ahead of you if you want it to be ahead of you. Your mind is so powerful, but your mind can either make you go in the wrong direction if you listen to it, or your mind can make you go in a great direction if you listen to it. But your thoughts, you can either have poor negative thoughts or you can have amazing positive results. And whatever thoughts you choose to listen to will determine your future.
You just said a mouthful right there. Never thought you decide to listen to, you can determine your future. Because we know there's a lot of thoughts that's determining our future, but they're not positive necessarily, right? They're definitely not positive. So what would you give that young entrepreneur um, that's out there trying to make this thing work? He's not making any money. He's not, he hasn't had the success. He doesn't have that great mentor yet, but he's out there busting his butt, um, trying to make this thing work. And he's been at it for a little while. What would you say to him? What
You
would you
know,
say to that young Steve Snooki at 18, 19 years old? What would you say to that young man?
I would tell him that dreams are possible. You can have a dream and vision, and just dream big. Because if you don't have a dream, you're going to work for someone else's dream the rest of your life. But if you want to accomplish anything in life, surround yourself with the most successful people you can find, and start just following them, and finding out what they're doing. How do they become successful? There's a lot of motivational stuff you can get on YouTube. Yeah, I listen to daily stuff on YouTube every single day, several times a day, motivational videos. And there's many books you can pick up too. Um, Think and Grow Rich, The
Mhm.
Magic of Thinking Big. There's a lot of things you can get turned to. And so if you're trying to do it on your own by yourself, it's going to be a struggle. But and if you don't have a dream, it's going to be a major struggle. You got to have a dream. You got to have a burning desire, passion. Without that passion, it's not going to work. So, and it starts with you. You have a dream and a burning desire and a passion, you can accomplish anything you want. But if you give up and you don't have that dream, you're going to give up. That's what's going to happen.
Okay. That's on point. So that's that young guy that's out there and he's listening. He's like, you know what, that makes sense. So what would you say to someone that they have white on the top and they're not moving as fast as that 18-year-old anymore and but they want something different. You think it's too late for them or you think they still have a chance to do something different with their life?
Of course not. It's never too late. It's never too late. That you got to have a plan B in life. See, most people do this plan their whole life. They work for 40 years, 40 hours a week, and then they try to retire on 40% of their income. And then when you go to Walmart, you see these elderly people at Walmart greeting everybody. They don't have enough money to retire with dignity to be with their grandkids. They got to work at Walmart or they're working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
So, there's plenty of time. They can work for 40, be broke for 40 years. Pick your heart. Being successful, if it was easy, everybody'd be successful. But
Right.
you got to motivate. You got to have the vision and be motivated and go after what you want. And if you have that, you can have success. But it does take time. You know, when you go to the gym and you want muscles, that doesn't come instantly. You got to go
Right.
there every day. You gotta work that muscle every day. People cannot work out for you. You say, "Hey, can you work out for me, John?" No, you got to work out for yourself. You have a dream, you have a vision, you have a goal you want to get. You got to do it for yourself. People
Yeah.
ain't gonna do it for you. You got to do it for yourself.
Mhm. Wouldn't that be if they could do it for you, boy, we'll all be. Oh yeah, this is one of those things you for yourself, but you're not by yourself. That's why we call it network marketing, unless you choose to be. You have to stay connected, right? You have to know
Yeah.
what to do. And you can't be way over here not knowing if they're over here, you over there, there's a disconnect. And so we need to move, if I can move back into that fine space where we all can grow together, if that's what you choose to do, but we can make it very hard. It's like you said, if it was easy, everybody be doing it. So no, it takes to me, it's a special person to decide to become a entrepreneur, network marketer, because it may not happen right away. It may not happen right away. But I think if you stick to it and you continue to follow the rules of the game, I think your day will come. Your day would come. Your day came
Yep.
after 8 years of spending money, going to training, doing this, doing that. And eventually that day came for you. And now you are successful. You're helping other people. You're steady, still work, reaching out. Like I said, if you are a butt without money, you'll probably be a butt with money. But if you have a kind heart without it, then you'll have a kinder heart maybe when you have it. Okay. So I this is not the way we had planned on doing this interview, but let me see if there's anything else in your bio I want to bring out because I think you're a pretty amazing person. Um, one person. I don't know if you had one person in your organization that did that, or you did that for other people. I'm not sure, but one person, and you may have to sift through all kinds of people. Like sometimes when you're looking for a pearl, that pearl may not come up in that first gem that you bring up. But you may have to go through, sift through several before you find that beautiful pearl. Same with network marketing. You may have to continue talking, continue to um, show videos, continue to show up at different events, continue that, reading the books, continue that. But eventually, you keep doing that. You will find someone that's going to help just take you there. Was that your experience, or it was just your everyday walk with marketing?
Well, every day I was out talking to people and you know, I make an analogy, a couple analogies. One of them, um, you want to go after the red apples in life. There's red apples, yellow apples, and rotten apples. Rotten apples are complaining about everything in life. They have everything's wrong. They're always in a bad mood. Yellow apples are people that ask questions all day long and they're never ready to go. They're indecisive. They're never ready to go. And red apples are just like, I'm excited. I'm ready to do this. I'm
Juicy and
excited. I'm
ready.
ready to do this.
I'm juicy. I'm
Yes,
ready to
yes.
go.
So we're looking for the red apples. And if you went to the grocery store, you wouldn't be looking for the rotten apples with fruit flies. You'd want the best apples there. And it's also like mining for gold. If you're in a cave trying to get gold or in the ground, a lot of people give up before they find the gold. A lot of people give up
Exactly.
before they find the pearls. They just give up because
Yeah.
it may be too hard. But it's really not that difficult. It's just about just being friendly and getting a conversation with people. I think it's harder to work for someone the rest of your life than learning some skills to communicate with people. Most people hate their jobs, but they'll
Mm.
stay at the job for 40 years and they just hate their job. They're all grumpy as heck.
Right.
Who wants to be a part of that?
Yeah.
What is your dream? What is your vision? What is your goal? There's people out there praying and looking for an opportunity. We have an amazing opportunity. They're the best in the world here. And we just got to get there and share it with people. And you'll find people. You'll find them. They're out there. There's people looking. There are people looking. And if you're asking God to help you, God's going to help you. A lot of people try to do everything on their own strength, but it's better if God's on your side.
Yeah. I sure think so. Ask him to help, and sometimes it doesn't come when you want it, but you continue. Like I said, you could be so close. There's so many stories that you read that people were right there and they gave up. They were right there and they gave up. It was 2 inches from gold, or from this person you got. I mean, whatever, and we just gave up. And I know sometimes you may want to feel like giving up, but if you just think that stick with it, but do the work. Stick with it, but do the work, because it's not going to just fall um, from the from the sky. You have to do something as well. And like you said, you were busy. Even right now, you don't need to work. It doesn't sound like it, but you still do it. You still do it. You still drive an Uber. Because that's a great way to connect with people, meet people all the time. A new person get in your car every day, and you have that opportunity to talk to them about sharing a better life, having a better life. Now
Yeah.
this wasn't. Oh, I'm sorry. You can go. You want to say something from that?
Yeah, well, yeah. See, when I drive Uber, I just share my story, and that I have to sit a little bit more on Uber rides because they're complete strangers. So, I can't ask an Uber passenger to do me a favor. But what
Right.
I can do is just share my story. Just I a year ago I was living in Florida, and when I was living in Florida, one of my friends in Chicago said, "Hey, you got to check out this dispensary called Akana. You got to meet Melissa Boston." And I'm telling these passengers the same story. I'll say it. I'll share the story 20 times a day on my Uber rides, 30 times a day on my Uber rides. If the people want to hear, most people I just get in the conversation, they're talking about it. Because I'll say I just moved up here to Kenosha, Wisconsin, but a year ago I was living in Florida. But when my friend Jesus was telling me about this dispensary in Chicago, I had to meet the CEO. I said, "Yeah, when I come up there, I'll meet her." Well, my brother passed, so I was in the area. So one night I came down, and on the way there, my friend Jesus said, "Hey, do you know what your blood type is?" No, I don't know what type. It's red. I don't even know what that means. Nobody ever asked that question to me in my life. And then I say, uh, and then Jesus said, well, hey, we got certified people here to test your blood, and they're also going to give you a bioscan. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So, and then I'm telling this to the passengers. They're listening. I say, you know, and I say, 99% of Americans, I always tell them this, don't know their blood type, and that's a major problem. But see, I found out my blood type that night. It's O positive. I had a bioscan. It's 90% effective. It tells you what's going on in your body, the good and the bad, in less than 5 minutes. It's been tested on over 100 million people here in the U.S. And I say, I just been on a mission, and I tell my passengers, I've been on a mission to try to get as many people to this dispensary as possible, this wellness center as possible, because most people don't know their blood type, and if you go to your doctor, try to get your blood, you're gonna have an argument with your doctor. They ain't gonna tell you your blood type. They don't want to tell you, because if they tell you your blood type, you shouldn't be according to your blood. You're gonna get healthier. You're gonna be getting off prescriptions, and they're gonna lose money. And then if you want to get a bioscan done at your doctor, it's not covered by insurance. That's cost like over $1,000 to get your bioscan done. I say you come with me to the dispensary, you get both those done for $15. Like what? Oh, yep. And then at the end of the ride, I always say, hey, would you like more information about what I shared with you? Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people say, yeah, you can have my phone number. We can connect on social media. And then from there, I pick them up. So there's sometimes I'll have four different passengers in my car. I'll bring them to the dispensary. None of them know each other. And then after the meeting, we'll meet Melissa. Or one time, Melissa wasn't there. She was at her house. And then I brought everybody to her house, and she met everybody at her house. So, yeah.
Wow, okay. She must be a special CEO. Like, well, I love
I
it.
keep
I
her
love it.
busy.
I
I
love
keep her busy like crazy.
it. Well, you just said something pretty amazing. So not only were you having success with the company as far as I mean, you were having success before you came to this company, and but you're with this company, and you mentioned something about blood type. You mentioned eating right for your blood type and things like that, and how your doctor wouldn't give you your blood type. Because I know I had to pay before I got involved with this company $30 to get my blood type, because they would not for years give me my blood type. They just wouldn't. I was in Phoenix, and I was with my friend, and she went to this salon, this thing, and I saw they looked on the board, and I saw they did blood type. Sign me up, $130. But I found it, and then a couple of months later, I was part of this company. But they don't do it, and I think it's I think it's purposely, because they know it's something to that blood type, knowing your blood type and how to eat. So, but I know I heard something this morning, and we're really done with the interview as far as on this part, but there's something else I wanted to bring out about Mr. Steve Stuckey. He just had an amazing transformation, you guys, and he's still transforming even right now. And he decided to do the 21-day raw cleanse. And he was telling about his story today, and I was blown away. I was just like, oh my word. Well, he did it right before Christmas. And tell us your results, Mr. Steve. Even the
Well,
hiccup.
yeah, I will. December 15th, I'm like, I'm getting serious. My birthday is December 10th. I'm like, I'm gonna get serious. I'm gonna just go after this. So that's when it was day one of the cleanse. And
Right.
then Christmas Eve and Christmas, and I caved in because at my brother's house, Christmas Eve, drinking Mountain Dew, eating bad stuff, you know, like it's
Like
bad.
what?
I'm
What's
like,
your bad stuff?
well, they had cheesecake, they had pumpkin pie, they had they did have turkey, which is good, but then they had like I love mashed potatoes, and then they had just candy and brownies. You name it,
Oh,
they had
just
all that
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, it's Christmas, so yeah, you're celebrating.
Christmas Eve, and I'm like, I just caved in, and then Christmas morning, I go to my mom's house, and I decided, oh my God, they had like bacon and eggs and just a bunch of stuff, and like cakes again, and cookies and Christmas, and so hey, I messed up in the middle of my cleanse after I started it. I just messed up for a few days, but I
Okay, so
got back
stop there.
on
Wait a minute, hold on. So you had been on it how long before that?
Christmas Eve was day 9.
Do you know what you potentially had lost at that point? How much waste you had lost at that point?
In day 7, I was down 9 pounds.
Wow, 9 pounds in how many days?
7, my first 7 days.
Your first 7 days, you was down 9 pounds. But that, if you didn't lose any more in that 21, that was good right there, right? That
Hmm.
was really good. So you fell off around Christmas to stay a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, whatever, and you got back on when?
I think it was about the 20, I want to say the 27th or 28th, right around there, right before New Year's. And then New Year's, I didn't go crazy and eat again. I just was very strict. See, the problem was I was by my family,
Right,
and
right.
I'm like, I got to get back home where I live at in Wisconsin, so I can get away from all the temptation of the sweets and stuff. That's when I came back. I think it was the 27th, 28th I got back on. I did gain a little bit of weight back, but
Okay.
I got refocused.
Yeah, okay. So you started back around the 27, 28, and you went for the other, you did it for 7 days. So you had about another, I don't know, 15, 14
Well,
days or
actually,
so to go.
Christmas was day 10. So yeah, you're right. I had another 11 days after that. So it was like in early January I was finished, and then I did end up losing 23 pounds in the 21-day cleanse.
That is something to celebrate. You lost 21 pounds of waste. The weight has followed, but and you went and bought smaller clothes
I
because you
did.
knew you
I
were going to
did.
get in those clothes. And now
That's
you're in
right.
the clothes, right? You can fit them now, right?
I am, yeah.
I think that is so, and to be nice and sexy and having that body, it's great. But to be healthy, it's a lot more important. It's a
That's
lot
right.
more important. Can you tell what is your benefits from doing the detox, the reset of your body? What is the other benefits besides the weight loss and then the weight loss? What else can you? What did you gain up? Anything more did you gain?
I have all kinds of energy all day long. I mean, just I'm I've always been pretty just happy all the time, but I just got this extra energy. Um, I've gained muscle, and I've actually lost a total of 32 pounds now as of this date. But I think I'm becoming a walking billboard because people are like, "What are you doing? You look like you lost some weight," and that's what happens. When you get serious about your health and you start going after the plan that you want to accomplish that other people are doing, you're going to become a walking billboard, and people are going to ask you, "What are you doing?" Say, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" There you
Yeah,
go.
I like that. Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? So the ones that's not your friend, somebody can get out in your car for the first time, you're not necessarily asking them to do you a favor. What are you saying to them?
Like Uber passengers, I just keep sharing the same
Oh, you telling your
story.
story. Telling your story.
I just keep this actually. I tell them I go on the same story, and then they're like, "Do you got any business cards?" And I've given out Indianapolis. Remember we had those flyers? I had a
Right.
stack of those in my car, and I was giving those out to like everybody. But I said I've got more cards coming. I'm going to the Bahamas in 2 weeks, and I got more cards coming. But they're like, "Well, I can give you my number. We can exchange numbers," and I've done that with several people. And some people have responded. Not everybody responds. If you talk to 20
Right.
people a day, you might get 1 to 3, maybe 4 people interested. but it's just a numbers game. That's all it is.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that for many years. So, well, I tell you, you have an amazing story. I'm just so thankful. I hate we couldn't have done this on live. I would have loved for more people to be able to see that on live, but I'm going to put this out once we figure out how to do this recording. Um, so, Mr. Stuckey, you are an amazing young man. I'm so thankful that our paths have crossed in this company that we're in now. And I think all we can do is go up from here. It's an amazing journey in so many ways. My goal, your goal, the company's goal. Yes, we want to take care of ourselves, but boy, we want to take a lot of people with us, and from a health journey and from a financial journey. So, and I think you've accomplished both of those things. You've, you've had other people to do the plans and stuff with you. I mean, it's your first plans, but other people have done it that you brought into the company, right?
I brought a lot of passengers that bought the cleanse, lots of them.
Hmm.
That's either by the 7 day. Some of them have bought the 21 day. Just complete strangers. I brought almost 100 passengers there, and I probably enrolled over 20. I mean, that's pretty good. Complete
That's good.
strangers.
The average, yeah. Cold, yeah, that's good. So I'm proud of
Mhm.
you. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for we kept on pivoting till we did something tonight. So
Right.
I'm
That's
so
good. We
thankful.
made it. Hmm.
Oh my God, now we gotta figure out, I'm gonna figure out why it was working perfectly in the last 2 weeks is we're having trouble getting people on. I don't know what that is, but going to figure it out because it's not going to happen next week. So, but thank you, Mr. Steve Stuckey. You have an amazing story. I'm so thankful we was able to do this recording and now to share it with other people that, even if it seems dull and grim, that it's just not ever going to work. You just keep doing those actions. You just keep doing those steps and something is going to give, but you just can't give up. If you give up, you already know. You were saying how many people still go to a job that they don't like. The most deaths, most heart attacks happen on Monday morning, early Monday morning, because people are going to jobs and things they don't like. They do it. I did it for many years. I didn't. It wasn't. I didn't like it. It didn't. It didn't motivate me. It wasn't something I really. I just did it because I was making money. So, but we go. I always said we go through life one time, and you don't want a bunch of woulda, shoulda, coulda. You got a dream and you go after it because it's possible you can hit it, but you just got to take the steps to do it. So thank you, Steve. You saw that dream and you made sure you saw to it, and now you're living the dream. You're living your dream, and so I'm very happy for you. So thank you so much, and I look forward to when we may do this again. So thank you. You have a good night, darling.
Thanks so much. Yes, I appreciate you.
All right, sweetheart. Bye bye now. And let
Bye.
me see how we cut this recording off. I'll stop recording.